join us on Patreon, and become part of our journey to uncover history's untold stories. Your support helps us create in-depth content, bring hidden narratives to life, and keep history alive for everyone.
The history of the Choctaw Nation is a tapestry of resilience, cultural richness, and complex intersections of identity. Nestled within this vast narrative is a chapter that remains underexplored yet profoundly significant: the hidden Black ancestry of the Choctaw people. For centuries, the interwoven stories of African and indigenous peoples have been shrouded in layers of erasure, neglect, and misrepresentation. These tales, buried beneath the weight of colonial histories and systemic marginalization, hold the keys to a deeper understanding of shared humanity and cultural convergence. To delve into the subject is to embark on a journey through time, one that reveals the unspoken connections and enduring legacies of two communities bound by struggle, survival, and solidarity. The Choctaw Nation, one of the largest Native American tribes in the southeastern United States, has long been celebrated for its rich cultural traditions, language, and resilience in the face of adversity. From the lush landscapes of Mississippi to the forced relocation along the infamous Trail of Tears, the Choctaw people's story is one of endurance and adaptation. However, the narratives that dominate public discourse often neglect the profound and nuanced relationships between the Choctaw and people of African descent. These relationships, forged in the crucibles of colonization, slavery, and shared oppression, gave rise to a unique cultural synthesis that continues to resonate today. The history of Black ancestry within the Choctaw Nation cannot be understood without acknowledging the broader historical context. The arrival of European colonizers in the Americas in the 16th century marked the beginning of profound disruptions to indigenous ways of life. The introduction of the transatlantic slave trade brought millions of Africans to the shores of the New World, many of whom would later encounter and interact with indigenous populations. In the southeastern United States, these interactions were particularly pronounced, as Native American tribes like the Choctaw found themselves entangled in the economic and social systems imposed by European settlers. As the Choctaw Nation navigated the pressures of colonization, they, like many other Native American tribes, were drawn into the institution of slavery. By the late 18th and early 19th centuries, the Choctaw had adopted elements of European agricultural practices, including the use of enslaved African labor. This adoption was not a simple emulation of European norms, but rather a complex and, at times, reluctant adaptation to the colonial world's demands. Enslaved Africans within Choctaw communities often lived under conditions distinct from those on European-owned plantations. While their status as slaves subjected them to exploitation and hardship, their proximity to Choctaw culture facilitated unique forms of cultural exchange and kinship. The relationship between the Choctaw and enslaved Africans was multifaceted and varied across time and space. In some cases, enslaved individuals became integral members of Choctaw communities, participating in cultural practices, learning the Choctaw language, and even marrying into the tribe. These bonds were further strengthened by shared experiences of displacement and resistance. The 1830s saw the forced removal of the Choctaw people from their ancestral lands in the southeastern United States to what is now Oklahoma, a harrowing journey known as the Trail of Tears. Many enslaved Africans accompanied the Choctaw on this journey, forging enduring ties through shared suffering and resilience. The post-removal period brought new challenges and transformations to the Choctaw Nation. The Civil War and its aftermath reshaped the social and political landscape of the United States, with profound implications for both Native Americans and African Americans. The Choctaw Nation, like other tribes, faced internal divisions over the issue of slavery and the status of freedmen, formerly enslaved individuals of African descent, within their communities. The Treaty of 1866, signed between the Choctaw Nation and the U.S. government, stipulated that freedmen were to be granted full citizenship rights within the tribe. However, the implementation of this provision was fraught with resistance and controversy, reflecting broader tensions around race, identity, and belonging. The legacy of these historical interactions is evident in the genealogies and cultural practices of many Choctaw families today. Oral histories, archival records, and genetic studies reveal the presence of African ancestry within the Choctaw Nation, a testament to centuries of intermarriage, cultural exchange, and shared struggle. Yet, the recognition of this ancestry has often been contested, both within the Choctaw community and in broader societal discourses. Issues of racial identity and tribal citizenship remain deeply contentious, shaped by historical injustices and contemporary debates over sovereignty and self-determination. Understanding the hidden Black ancestry of the Choctaw Nation requires a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths and embrace the complexity of human history. It challenges us to rethink conventional narratives that position indigenous and African peoples as separate and oppositional. Instead, it invites us to recognize the ways in which these communities have influenced and enriched each other, creating new cultural forms and forging bonds of solidarity in the face of shared adversity. One of the most compelling aspects of this history is the role of storytelling and memory in preserving the experiences of Black Choctaw individuals and families. Oral traditions have long been a cornerstone of both African and indigenous cultures, serving as a means of transmitting knowledge, values, and identity across generations. These traditions offer invaluable insights into the lived experiences of those who navigated the intersections of Black and Choctaw identity. They speak to the resilience of individuals who refuse to be defined solely by the oppressive systems that sought to erase their humanity. The hidden Black ancestry of the Choctaw Nation also highlights the broader significance of intersectionality in understanding history. Intersectionality, a term coined by scholar Kimberly Crenshaw, refers to the interconnected nature of social categorizations such as race, gender, and class. It provides a framework for examining how overlapping identities shape experiences of oppression and privilege. In the context of the Choctaw Nation, an intersectional approach reveals the ways in which race, ethnicity, and colonialism intersected to produce unique forms of identity and resistance. This history is not merely a relic of the past, but a living legacy that continues to shape the identities and experiences of Black Choctaw individuals and communities today. Efforts to reclaim and celebrate this heritage are gaining momentum, driven by grassroots initiatives, academic research, and cultural revitalization projects. These efforts reflect a broader movement to challenge the erasure of Black and Indigenous histories and affirm the dignity and humanity of all peoples. In conclusion, the hidden Black ancestry of the Choctaw Nation is a powerful reminder of the complexity and interconnectedness of human history. It calls us to look beyond simplistic narratives and embrace the richness of our shared past. By uncovering and honoring these stories, we not only do justice to those who came before us, but also lay the foundation for a more inclusive and equitable future. The journey to uncover this hidden heritage is not without its challenges, but it is a journey worth taking, one that deepens our understanding of ourselves and the world we inhabit.